Morning, everyone. Today's topic are some numerical, which is based on your power electronic component, which is your diode. So, in previous lectures, we have already studied about diodes. So, diode is a PN junction device. It has uh, two terminal. One is your anode, and another terminal is your cathode. It works in two mode. One is your forward biasing mode and another one is your reverse biasing mode. In forward biasing mode, the anode is positive with respect to cathode, means the arrow terminal is positive with respect to cathode, and in reverse biasing, the anode is negative with respect to cathode. So it will work only in forward biasing mode, and the current will flow through the diode if it is in forward biasing mode. In reverse bias, the diode will not conduct and it will behave like a open circuit voltage source, and the current which is flowing in reverse direction, which is just because of leakage charges of PN junction. So, diode is a semiconductor device. It works in two modes, forward biasing and reverse biasing mode. Forward biasing mode means that the anode is positive with respect to cathode, and in reverse biasing mode, the anode is negative with respect to cathode. So, this is all about your diode, and we have already studied in uh, previous lectures that what is diode, what are the characteristics of diode, and the different type of diodes. So in this lecture, we will discuss about some numerical, which is very important to understand the basic concept of diode. So let's start with the course objective. So basically, the course objective, or you can say the objective of this lecture, is to introduce the student about the basic concept of diode by solving some numerical problems. So after this lecture, I'm expecting from students that student will be able to understand the basic concept of diode, and he would be able to do some numerical problems which is based on diode and different kind of circuits in which we are using diode. So a student will be able to find out the current and voltage across the diode. So let's start with some examples. So let's start with first example. Suppose your first example is that in previous lecture already we have done 5 examples which was also based on diode. Now this is numerical number 6, in which we are going to discuss about some different circuits in which we are using diode. So let's start with this numerical, that find VQ and ID in the network shown in figure 6.1. Use simplified model. So it is asking about this voltage VQ and the current which is flowing through the diode ID. Okay. So it is we have to find out the voltage at this terminal and the diode current. Okay. So you can see that the diagram is here. The voltage applied at this terminal is 10 volt. We are using two silicon diodes in which the forward biasing cutoff voltage is 0.7 volt. These are two resistances. One is your 2 kilo ohm and another one is your 2 kilo ohm. And here is also a resistance is connected. That is also 2 kilo ohm and it is connected to the ground. So, if you want to solve this numerical, first you have to simplify this circuit diagram by which you would be able to find out the voltage at this terminal and the current which is flowing through the diode. So, let's start with this diagram, and this is the simplified diagram. So, this is your 10-volt battery, and we have connected a bridge where we are using two diodes and two resistances. These diodes are made up of silicon. That's why the voltage across these diodes when these diodes are conducting, that is your 0.7 volt. Means when diode is conducting, there will be a some voltage drop across these diodes. So for silicon, it will be 0.7 volt. So that's why we have represented a battery over here. So it has a voltage of 0.7 volt, and the another voltage is your 0.7 volt is also. Now, now there is a current which is flowing through this diode. So at this point, the current is dividing. Okay, at this point, the current is dividing, and after that, the current which is flowing through this terminal is also ID. So now replace the diodes by their simplified models. The resulting circuit will be as shown in figure 6. By symmetry, current in each branch is ID, so that current in branch CD is 2ID. You can see that if ID current is flowing here and ID current is flowing here, so this we are taking 2ID current, for example, and this current is divided over here. And why we are taking equal current in two branches? Because there is the voltage, same voltage battery, same voltage is here, and the same resistance is also the resistance is also same in these two branches. That's why we are taking equal current which is dividing here. Now this current is divided into two parts. One is your one is flowing in this direction and another one is flowing in this direction. So the total current is 2ID. Now, if you apply KCL at this point, that the incoming current is ID and the incoming current is also ID, which is coming from this branch. So the total incoming current at this point is equal to 2ID. Okay, and you know, if we talk about the statement of KCL, so at a node, the incoming current and outgoing current is also equal. So ID plus ID is equal to 2ID, which is equal to 2ID. So that's why we are taking here 2ID current. Okay. So now I think, is it clear to you? Next, what you have to do now, by symmetry, current in each branch is ID, so that current in branch CD is 2ID. Now what you have to do, you have to find out the current ID and the diode current, okay, and the voltage at this terminal. So what you can do, that you can see that there are two loops. One loop is here and another loop is also here. So you can apply KVL in this loop 1 and in this loop 2. So first we apply KVL in this loop. Okay. So what you see that 10 volt uh, plus 10 volt minus 0.7 volt minus 2 kilo ohm into ID minus 2 ID into 2 kilo ohm is equal to 0, or you can write that VA minus VQ. So let's see from this equation that applying Kirchhoff voltage law to the closed circuit ABCDA. So first we are applying A, B, C, D and A. So we are applying KVL in this outer loop. So one is the same thing. Okay. When you apply KVL in this loop, you will find out that plus 10 minus 0.7 minus 2ID minus 2ID is equal to 0. So by solving this equation, you will get that 6ID is equal to 9.3. So the diode current is equal to 9.3 upon 6, which is equal to 1.55 milliamperes. Okay, so you are able to find out the current ID, which is equal to 1.5 milliampere. So in this question, the current is asking is your ID. Now, next question is that, yes, when what is the voltage VQ? So at this point, the voltage is your VQ and the current is flowing your 2ID. So there are two methods by which you can calculate this voltage. Okay. So at this point, the voltage is VQ. At this point, the voltage is your zero because this is connected to the ground. So VQ minus VD is equal to VQ minus VD is equal to 2 into 2 ID, and the value of ID is your 1.5. So the voltage across at this terminal VQ is equal to 6.2 volt. Okay, so you can easily calculate the voltage and current of the diode or any branch in which your diode is given. So these are the basic concept by which you can easily understand that how can you calculate the voltage across any branch and the current through any diode or any other branch in which resistance or other elements are connected. Now let's come to the next question. So next question is this, that determine current through each diode in the circuit shown in figure 7a. Use simplified model, assume diode to be similar. Okay, so you can see in this branch that there are two voltage sources. Okay, one is your 15 volt, another is your 0.5 kilo ohm, and this is your ID1 and ID2. Okay, so it is asking that current through each diode. So it is asking about ID1 and ID2. Okay. First step, that what you have to do, first you have to simplify this circuit. Okay, and here is not given that which element, which semiconductor component is using for construction this diode. So for assumption, we will take the voltage drop across this diode is 0.7 volt. Okay, so the battery which is connected here is 15 volt, and the diode which is connected in parallel direction, ID1 and ID2, and this is your 0.5 kilo ohm, and this is your resistance. Now, first we have simplified this circuit. So the voltage across the diode is 0.7 volt and 0.7 volt. Now you have to find out the current ID1 and ID2. So what you can do, that these two branches are in parallel. The voltage across these branches is also parallel, and the current, total current is your I1. So if you apply KCL at this node, according to KCL, the incoming current and outgoing current at this point is uh, the sum of incoming current and outgoing current at any node is equal to 0, according to Kirchhoff law. So the incoming current is equal to your outgoing current. So incoming current is your I1 and the outgoing current is your ID1 and ID2. So I1 is equal to ID1 plus ID2. This is your equation number 1. Okay. Now, second thing, that you can apply KVL in this. If you apply KVL in this loop, you will get that 15 minus I1 into 0.5 and minus 0.7 volt. Okay. So this is the loop equation. 15 minus 0.5 into I1 is equal to 0.7 volt. So by this equation, 15 minus 0.7 is equal to 0.5 kilo ohm. Okay. So you will get the value of I1, which is equal to 28.6 milliampere, and you know the both diodes are similar. So the ID1 and ID2 is equal to I1 upon 2. So you can get the diode current is your 14.3 milliamperes. So by using simplify this circuit, you can easily calculate the current which is flowing through the diode. Now let's start and let's do another numerical. So the numerical is, the question is that determine the currents I1, I2 and I3 for the network shown in figure 8.1. Use simplified model for the diodes. So you can see in the diagram that there is two diode D1 and D2, and one is your battery source, which is equal to 20 volt. Okay. Which is equal to 20 volt. So the voltage across this battery is your 20 volt. This is your diode D1, this is your diode D2, and these are your resistances R1 and R2. The value of R1 is your 5.6 kilo ohm, and the value of resistance R2 is your 3.3 kilo ohm. So you can see that diode D1 and D2, diode D1 has the voltage drop of 0.7 volt, and diode D2 also have the voltage drop of 0.7 volt. So after simplifying this circuit, you will get this circuit. That this is the simplified circuit of this diagram 8.1. Now you have to find out the current I1, 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 which is flowing through this resistance R1. I2, the resistance flowing through 3.3 kilo ohm, and the I. So first what you have to do, first you can apply KCL at this node. So you can see that the incoming current is your I1, which is equal to, which is dividing in two branches. So I1 is equal to I2 plus I3. So you will get first one equation, I1 is equal to I2 plus I3. Now in branch 3, the voltage drop across this, voltage is equal to 0.7 volt. This branch is 0.7 volt, and there is no resistance. Okay. So let's start with this loop. Okay. If you apply loop in this, uh, mesh, then you will see that 20 volt minus 0.7 volt minus 0.7 volt, and minus R1 into 5.6 kilo ohm. Sorry, 5.6 into I1. R1 is given, which has the value of 5.6 kilo ohm. So when you apply KVL in this loop, then you will find out that 20 volt minus 0.7 minus 0.7 into R1 into 5.6 kilo ohm into I1. So you will get this equation, which is equal to 0 according to KVL. Now, solving this equation, you can easily calculate the value of I1. Okay. So, you can see that when you calculate this, the value of R1 is equal to 5.6 kilo ohm. So, 20 minus 0.7 minus 0.7, okay, you will get 18.6 volt, which is equal to I1 R1. So I1 is equal to 18.6 volt upon 5.6 kilo ohm, which is equal to 3.32 milliamperes. Okay. So the value of I1 is equal to 3.32 milliamperes. And I1 is equal to I2 plus I3, because we have already find out this equation by applying KCL at this point. So you will get that I1 is equal to I2 plus I3. Okay. So you can see that from the equation I1 is equal to I2 plus I3, and you are having the value of I1 is equal to 3.32 milliampere. Now you have to find out, you have the value of I1, which is 3.32 milliampere. So find out the value of I2 plus I3. You have to find out either I3 or either I2. So from this equation, you can see that at this point, the voltage drop is your 0.7 volt. If you apply KVL in this loop, you will get that 0.7 volt minus I2 into 3.3 kilo ohm. So by this equation, you can easily calculate the value of I2. Okay. So by this equation, you can easily calculate the value of I2, which is equal to 0.7 volt upon 3.3 kilo ohm is equal to 0.212 milliampere. So the value of current is equal to 0.212 milliamperes. Now, if you are having the value of I2, you are having the value of I1. Now you can easily calculate the value of I3 by this equation. So you have to put the value of I1, which is your 3.32 milliampere, is equal to I2 0.212 milliampere plus I3. So you can find out the I3, which is equal to 3.32 minus 0.212, which is equal to 3.108 milliamperes. Okay. So this is about this numerical that by which you can easily calculate the current of this branch and the current which is flowing through the diode D2 and D1. So this is all about this numerical. Now let's come to the next question. So the question is given that determine if the diode in figure 9a is forward biased or reverse biased. Okay. So you can see in the diagram that there are four resistances which are connected to each other. Okay. Let's talk about this loop. So this is connected to the ground, and okay, there are two resistances. One is your 8 kilo ohm, and another one is your 6 kilo ohm. Here is also two resistances. One is your 2 kilo ohm, and another is your 4 kilo ohm. The terminal voltage of your 10 volt. Okay. Now let's talk about when diode is conducting. So when diode is conducting, there will be a current and it will behave like a closed switch because diode is in forward biasing. So when diode is in forward biasing, the diode will conduct and there will be some current which will flow through the diode. But when diode is in reverse biasing means this terminal is negative and this terminal is positive. Diode will behave like a open switch. So you can see in the diagram that the diode when the diode is conducting and when diode is not conducting means this is the condition when diode is in forward biasing and this is the condition when diode is in your reverse biasing. So let us assume that the diode in is off state, that is reverse biasing. So the circuit then becomes shown in figure 9.2. Now you have to find out the voltage V1 and V2 in this condition. So you can see that the voltage across voltage V1 is equal to 10 volt upon 2 kilo ohm plus 8 kilo ohm into 8 kilo ohm, which is equal to 8 volt, means that you can see from this diagram. Okay. Uh, if you want to apply the voltage division rule. Now, what is voltage division rule? That the voltage in series, when two resistances are connected in series, then the voltage across these two resistances will be different. Okay. If two resistances are connected in parallel, in that case, the voltage will remain same. But if these two resistances are connected in series or there is a voltage source, then the voltage which will appear across these two resistances will be different. So here we have applied the KVL rule, sorry, the voltage division rule. The total voltage of this circuit is equal to, at this terminal, the voltage is your 10 volt, okay? And at this terminal, the voltage is your 0. When this is your open circuit, then these two branches are in your parallel condition, okay? So by applying K voltage division rule, you can easily calculate the voltage. So the total voltage across these branches is your 10 volt. Now you have to find out the voltage across this 8 ohm branch. So you can calculate that 10 into 8 upon 2 kilo ohm plus 8 kilo ohm. Then you will find out the voltage, which is equal to 8 volt. Like this, you can also calculate the voltage V2. Voltage V2. Okay. At this point, the voltage, what is the voltage of this terminal? So at this point, the voltage is 0. And at this point, the voltage is V2. So you have to find out the voltage across this branch, because in this branch, the voltage, this is your V2. Okay. So the total voltage across these branch is, the voltage drop across this branch is your 10 volt. Now you can apply the voltage division rule across this branch, and you will get that 10 into 6 upon 6 plus 4 kilo ohm. So you will get 10 upon 4 kilo ohm plus 6 kilo ohm into 6 kilo ohm. So if you calculate, 10 into 6 is equal to 60 divided by 10, which is equal to 6 volt. So the voltage across the diode is equal to V1 minus V2, which is equal to 8 minus 6 is equal to 2 volt. Now, so you can see that, once I want to repeat this question. See, at this terminal, the voltage is 10 volt. At this terminal is also voltage is the 10 volt. At this terminal is V1. The voltage across this point is your V1. So the voltage across this branch, okay, the voltage across this 2 kilo ohm branch is equal to 10 minus V1. If you talk about this branch, at this terminal, the voltage is your V1, and at this terminal, the voltage is equal to 0. So the voltage across this branch is equal to V1 minus 0 is equal to 8 kilo ohm into current. Okay. Like this, the voltage across these branch is equal to V2 minus 0 equal to 6 kilo ohm into current. So what you have to do in this question, that you have to find out that your diode is in forward biasing or reverse biasing. So first we have considered the second case, that we are assuming that diode is in reverse bias. That's why diode will not conduct and diode will behave like a open source. Okay. So what you can do now, uh, for uh, uh, for determining that diode is in forward biasing or reverse biasing, you have to find out the voltage across these two terminals. Okay. In the case of forward biasing, the voltage drop across the diode is less than 0.7 volt or equal to 0.7. If you solve this equation or this circuit and you find out that the voltage drop across the diode is greater than 0.7 volt, then greater than 0.7 volt or it is very high, then the diode will be in your reverse biasing. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to find out the voltage across this diode, and you will see that First, you have to find out the voltage V1. So at this branch, the total voltage is your 10 volt. So you can easily apply the voltage division rule. So 8 into 10 divided by 2 plus 8, you can easily find out the voltage V1. Okay. Like this, if you have V2, then 10 in minus 10 into 6 upon 6 plus 4, you can easily calculate the voltage drop across this terminal, which is your V2. So by calculating V1 and V2, you can easily find out the voltage across this diode. When you calculate the V1 and will find out that the value of V1 is equal to 8 volt and the value of V2 is equal to 6 volt. So the voltage across diode is equal to V1 minus V2, which is equal to 8.6 is equal to 2 volt. So now you can see that the voltage V1 minus V2 is equal to 2 volt is enough voltage to make the diode forward biasing. So our initial assumption was that diode is in forward biased. Okay. So now I think you are able to understand that what is question asking and how we can solve the circuit and how can find out that diode is in forward biasing or reverse biasing by calculating the voltage across the diode or calculating the voltage drop across the diode. Okay. Next. So this is also very important question. The question is that determine the state of diode for the circuit shown in figure and find diode current and diode voltage. Assume simplified model for the diode. So you can see in the diagram that there is a voltage source of DC voltage source which has 2 volt and two resistances are given. One is 4 kilo ohm and another one is your 1 kilo ohm and one diode which is connected to your anti-parallel with 1 kilo ohm resistor. Now you have to find out the diode current in this circuit. So the I1 current is flowing through 4 kilo ohm resistor and 1 kilo the current which is flowing through 1 kilo ohm is your I2 and the current which is flowing through the diode is your ID. Now you can apply KVL, KCL at this node. So according to KCL, I have told you many times that according to KCL, the incoming current and incoming current is equal to your outgoing current at a particular node. So I1 is equal to I2 plus ID and you can easily find out the current. So first you have to take this equation in which you can see that I1 is your incoming current and outgoing current is your I2 plus ID. So I1 is equal to I2 plus ID. Now you can apply the KVL in outer loop or inner loop because there are three loops. One is your this outer loop. Second one is this loop which is constructed by voltage source and these two resistances. This is your third loop which is constructed by one resistance and one voltage source. Okay. So first apply KVL. You will see that 2 volt minus 4 kilo ohm minus 0.7 volt. Okay. So you can see that the equation will be 2 minus 4 into I1 into minus 0.7 volt. So by applying KVL in outer loop, you can easily find out the value of I1. When you find out the value of I1, then you have to apply KVL in this loop. After applying KVL in this loop, you can also easily calculate the current which is flowing through this branch I2 because you have already find out I1 Now you can easily calculate the value of I2 by applying KVL in the direction. When you have the value of I1 and I2, you can easily calculate the current I. Okay, this is your option one. And the another option by which you can solve this equation is that you can apply Thevenin theorem. Okay, according to Thevenin theorem, you want to find out the current through this diode. So first you have to remove this branch. Okay, when you remove this branch, there is an open circuit. Then you have to calculate the open circuit voltage across this branch. After that, you have to short this voltage source, and you can easily calculate the resistance because these two branches are in parallel. Okay, and by calculating Thevenin voltage and Thevenin resistance, you can easily calculate the current which is flowing through the diode. So you can solve this equation by both methods. Now let's solve this question that let us assume that the diode is in on. Therefore, we have replaced the diode with a 0.7 volt battery as shown in figure. So you can see that the value of I1 is equal to 2 minus 0.7 volt upon 4 kilo ohm means that you have applied a KVL in this loop. So you will find out that 2 minus 0.7 divided by 4 and you get I1. So the value of I1 is equal to 0.325 milliampere. Now you can easily calculate the value of I2 by applying KVL in this loop. So 2 minus 4, okay, 2 minus 4 minus 1 and 4 is multiplied by 0.325. Okay, and another loop is this by which you can easily calculate the I2. So 1 into I2 is equal to 0.7 volt. So I2 is equal to 0.7 volt is divided by 1 kilo ohm, and you will find out that the current through this branch I2 is 0.7 milliampere. You have I1 and I2 by applying KCL, you can easily calculate the current which is flowing through the diode, which is equal to 0.375 milliamp. So you can see the value of the current is negative, which is flowing through the diode. Since the diode current is negative, the diode must be in off, and the true value of diode current is ID is equal to 0. milliampere. So hence our initial assumption was wrong. In order to analyze the circuit properly, we should replace the diode in figure 10.1 with an open circuit as shown in figure 3rd. So you can see that you can replace this diode as an open circuit. Now you can easily calculate the voltage across this diode. So you can see that the total voltage of this if you want to calculate the voltage across this diode, so you can see this resistance is parallel with this diode. So if you find out the voltage across this resistance, you can easily calculate the voltage across this diode because the voltage drop across these branches will be same. These two branches are in your parallel condition. Okay, so you can see that when you calculate the voltage across this resistance by using voltage division rule, so you will find out the voltage across this diode. So let's apply the voltage division rule, which is 2 into 1 divided by 5. Okay, and you will get the voltage drop across this diode is equal to 0.4 volt. So we know that the 0.74 volt is required to turn on diode. So VD is less than 0.4 volt. So the diode will be in your off state condition. So this is all about your, some numerical which was based on your diode current to find out the diode current and diode voltage. Now there are few questions which is very important and which came in your GATE exam. So let's calculate or solve these numerical also, which is very important. So you can see that the diodes and the capacitor in the circuit shown are ideal, and the voltage VT across the diode D1 is the diode and capacitors in this circuit. You can see that one is your AC voltage source, which has the voltage of your cos omega t AC. There are one capacitor C1 and diodes T1 and D2, and another capacitor which also has the value of C1. So you can see that the input voltage is your cos omega t. So now find the voltage across the diode D1 when the positive half cycle of the input is applied. Diode D1 is forward biased and D2 is your reverse biased. So when you apply this voltage across the diode and capacitor are ideal. It is already given. Okay. Then the when the positive cycle is applied, diode D1 will be in your, in forward biasing, right? So capacitor when you apply positive cycle, then diode D1 will be in your forward biasing and diode D2 will be in your reverse biasing. Okay. So what is happening? When diode D1 is in a forward biasing, the capacitor C1 will start to charge, and it will charge at its maximum level, which is your 1 volt. Okay. So capacitor C1 charges to maximum voltage, that is your 1 volt. Now when negative cycle of the input comes, D1 is in your reverse biasing. So we can replace this diode by your open circuit. Okay. So the diode D2 is in reverse biasing forever, and it can be replaced by an open switch. Because when you apply positive cycle, then diode D1 for positive half cycle, the diode D1 was in your forward biasing. When you apply negative cycle, diode D1 will be in your reverse biasing. Okay, D2 is also in reverse biasing condition. D2 is also in the reverse biasing condition for forever, and it can be replaced by your open switch. So when you apply positive cycle, capacitor is charging at 1 volt, okay, and the D1 is in forward biasing and D2 is in reverse biasing. When negative half cycle, D1 and D2 both are in reverse biasing. So in both the cases, D2 will be in your open circuit voltage. Now you can see from the diagram that when it is your open circuit voltage, it is also open circuit voltage. Then what you can do, that the capacitor, it is charging. Okay, it is charged at this point plus 1 volt. It will start to discharge. When it comes to negative, then you can see that it will go this direction, which is your minus 2. So in this circuit, C1 and D1 from clamper circuit, while D2 and C2. So it will behave like, peak to peak detector, and in peak to peak detector, the voltage across the diode will be cos omega t minus 1, because it is charged at maximum 1. So it will behave like a on, closed circuit for this positive half cycle. So when you apply KVL over here, you will get that this voltage minus this voltage is equal to the voltage drop across this diode. So this is all about your diode. Next topic is the IV characteristic of the diode in the circuit given below here. V minus 0.7 divided by 500 ampere. Voltage is greater than or equal to 0.7 volt, and when voltage is equal to 0 ampere. Okay, current is given when this voltage is greater than equal to the volt current is flowing this. I think it must be less than actually, because in that case, when your voltage is less than 0.7 volt, in that case, the diode will not conduct and it will behave like a open circuit voltage. So the current will be your 0 ampere. So this is your V is less than equal to 0.7 volt. So here is a DC voltage source 1 kilo ohm, and this is your diode. I think it is asking the current which is flowing through this circuit. So this is your I ampere. Now you have to find out the current. So the current in the circuit is, you can easily calculate if diode is conducting. Okay, if first you have to apply KVL. If diode is conducting, so 10 minus 1 into V minus 0.7 upon 500, okay, minus 0.7 volt. So you can calculate the current by using this equation, and you will get the value of I is equal to 9.3 upon 500 minus 2 ampere, 2I. So you will get, by calculating this equation, you will get the current is 6.2 milliampere, which is your option D. Okay. So by calculating or by applying KVL, KCL, you can easily find out the voltage across the diode and the current which is flowing through the diode. This is your next question. So you can see that in the circuit shown below, the knee current of the ideal Zener diode is 10 milliampere. To maintain 5 volt across RL, the minimum value of RL in ohm and the minimum power rating of the Zener diode is milliwatt respectively are. So you have to find out the voltage across this Zener diode, and PZ, the power across this Zener diode. So by calculating, by solving, or by making these equation, you can easily calculate the power PZ across the Zener diode. So this is all about your today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will discuss about our next topic, which is your SCR. Thank you.